This is my truck. Today, we're going to be installing this big box parts from the fine folks over at Summit Racing. So, let's get started. Just a little bit of info on my truck before we get started. It's a 1976 GMC K15. Has your classic small block Chevy 350. It's got the Dana 44 front end. It's got the SM 465 trans with the new process, the NP 205 transfer case, and a pretty standard GM 12 bolt outback, open differential, nothing too fancy, which I believe 307 or 308 gears. I can't totally remember, but yep, so this is our test subject for today. Also, some history on this motor. This is the original motor that was in the truck when I purchased it. Again, just Gen 1 small block Chevy like you'd find in, your C10s, your K10s, that kind of thing. And what I've done is I went to my local Wilberts, you pull it, and I scored a set of Vortec, the 062 part number casting cylinder heads off of a 96 Chevy Suburban. So yeah, pick those up, super cheap. That's definitely the way to do it if you're looking for a low buck cylinder head upgrade. These are the highest flowing iron cylinder heads that GM produced that are compatible with the small block Chevy. I've already been through this once already, and you may be asking yourself, okay, well, why are you messing with it again? Well, when I assembled this, cam bearings, valve springs, obviously the new cylinder heads, the new intake manifold. Apparently I didn't do something quite right, because when I did my first oil change, just sludge, metal shavings, the whole 9 yards. So I'm going to be investigating that because the truck runs fine, really. A couple little hiccups here and there, but I want to investigate that and figure out what went wrong. And like I said, I have a box of new parts, new cam, lifters, that kind of thing. So we'll get after it. Okay, carburetor's all hooked. Everything except for the brake vacuum line there. It's a little bit, just not quite long enough to reach there, so it's a little bit easier when it's in your hands. That is still warm. There we go. Okay, carburetor's removed. Okay, I'm going to pull this side valve cover here. I want to get my engine at top dead center on the compression stroke before I get too carried away with tearing stuff apart. Just a good reference. Bolts are loosened. This valve cover out. Let's get out of there. Just for reference, I highly recommend the Felpro, I believe these are Perma-Dry. They're silicone valve cover gaskets. If you guys are doing a lot of engine work like me, then having a silicone gasket that can be reused is very helpful. Cork ones kind of tear if you don't do them right, so these are nice. It's always the number 7 trouble. Alright, just gonna pull these plugs. Another note here, I like to lay them out in the order that they came out. So you got 1, 3, 5, 7 on my driver's side bank there. And not necessary, but if I do pull the other side, or if you pull a plug and it's radically different than another one, you can locate that cylinder and figure out what's going on. Kind of a troubleshooting thing. Okay, again, something to note, have them laid out here. The odd numbers, even numbers. You can see this is why I do it. Looks like plug number 4, out of cylinder 4, does look a little bit darker than the rest on that ground strap. Again, I'm not saying that any of these are ideal. I'm kind of looking for more of a golden brown, but yeah, something to keep in mind. Alright, about to pull this lower radiator hose. Hopefully not make too much of a mess, but you know how that goes. Unfortunate. I don't even know what that was. That went about as well as you can expect it to. Okay, so now that all that is removed, it's just those 4 bolts on the intake, because those are vortex cylinder heads. And we'll get the intake out of the way and we'll inspect the valve train. Okay, I'm just using this little pry tool, get in there and break the seal. There we go. That lifter looks good. Yeah, that looks great actually. Okay. Aha. Oh no, wait, is that right? Why does that look so different? It's a little strange. Okay, so this is where I'm at. I have the lifters pulled out of their bores and inspected each one, and this is what I've found. So this is the number 6 intake lifter, and as you can see, if it'll focus, that is an abnormal wear pattern. Now, it's not so bad that I'm immediately feeling it, but I also noticed that the lifter has not been rotating in its bore. So as you can see right there, that's like a factory out of the box finish, and it's supposed to, and you can see there it's a poor wear pattern anyway. See how it goes from that gloss? You can see the reflection of the flag, and then so it hasn't been spinning in its bore like it's supposed to. Compare that to what I believe to be a healthy or a good wearing lifter, or a lifter that is worn well. The entire bore or outer circumference of that lifter is polished well from the break-in, and the face, still, you can see in the reflection, still has a little bit of crowning, and its wear is concentric. Now, my question is, I know about that much, but then past that, I don't know. I don't know if this is salvageable. I have a brand new set of lifters, and what I could have done is just put a new lifter in. But what I'm concerned about is that if this lifter has not been rotating in its bore, then what does the lobe of the cam look like? I don't know if lifters are inherently a softer material to be the first point of failure to allow for a lifter replacement like this, or if the cam would be compromised too. But instead of me, thinking about it, I'm just gonna pull the motor and see for myself. So I'm sure some of you guys out there have a lot more experience than I do, and I'd love to hear some feedback on it. I'm very curious to what I'll find on the cam itself. But yeah, that's where we're at. All right, we're gonna remove the fan shroud and front accessories and radiator and strip down this motor so we can pull it out. You got to turn the fastener the correct way as well. All right, next we got our oil pressure gauge line. We'll hop right up in there and take care of it. thinking that I should have done that sooner, you're absolutely correct. Okay, obviously some time has passed since you saw me last, but I was underneath the truck messing with the starter, bell housing bolts, motor mounts, that kind of thing, and just was almost impossible to feel under there, so here we are, about to pull it. This is being so frustrating.
2 hours later.
Oh, I know what's holding you up. Haha. The inspection shield. The bell housing. That's what's holding you up. Unbelievable. Okay, so once you remember to move the inspection panel of your bell housing, it should slide right out. You'd think I'd know. I've clearly been here before, but yeah, I make mistakes, I guess. Quite a few. Oh yeah, she seems a little bit happier now. Get that throttle cable out of the way. Hey, kumbaya. That's kind of a weird thing to say. Okay, we're looking pretty decent then. There we go. Carefully. You're doing okay, everybody's okay. Our steering pump's kind of hanging out, but I really don't care that much. Put that one back up. Okay, get that out of the way. Gently. Come on, old girl. Come on out of there. Oh, don't do that. We got clearance. Well, outside home. Trick is to do this very carefully. Alright, so engine's out. I'm excited to tear into it and see if it was worthwhile or not worthwhile. Those lifters really look better than I was expecting. For the time being, I'm gonna go home. I've had enough. So we'll have to tear apart another day. If anyone has any comments, thoughts, any different techniques that I could be using to fix this motor, then please let me know down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to hear from you guys. Thanks. Oh, I can't do that with one hand. I can't do that with one hand.